What is up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Lip, Gloss, and Ladders, coming to you on a beautiful Sunday. You guys will probably see this on a Monday, but we always record it on Sundays. How are you guys feeling? How are you guys feeling, KB? Talk to me.
I'm feeling good. We had a week off, but we back, always ready to get it going.
Yeah, we had a brief little hiatus, but we're coming back to you now. How about you, Reese? How you feeling on this beautiful Sunday?
I am ecstatic on this beautiful Sunday to see y'all.
I know,
I
I'm so
miss.
happy to be
I mean, I saw
back.
y'all
I'm
last
happy to
week
be
and we
back.
talk all the time, but I miss y'all.
Yes. And then if you guys did not catch our SummerSlam rundown, we gave a really, really dope SummerSlam rundown on our Instagram, Lip Gloss and Ladders. Be sure to check that out if you haven't. And then, of course, we are missing our girl Gabby this week. She's behind the scenes, but we do miss and love you. Can't wait to see you when you come back. But I'm ready to get into it. We have a jam-packed show this week. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I feel like we should start with SmackDown. Just because I want to give SmackDown some grace, give SmackDown give it a little bit more something because I feel like it has not been the A show for a while. And we had the return of somebody very, very important, the OTC, the original tribal chief. He came back. Okay, we were very, very happy about that. He didn't say anything, but he don't have to say much. He came wreck shop. Okay, but we felt the presence. All right, so super, super exciting. I really, really enjoyed that closing of SmackDown. I'm curious to see where this is going to go because it's looking like Jacob is still kayfabe injured. I know that we were speculating a little bit as to whether the validity of Jacob's injury. Fightful selected release, luckily, that it was an injury just for the show, so thank God for that. But KB, I want to ask you, how do you feel about Roman Reigns' return?
Oh, I'm just so excited for his return. I just excited to see how it goes, like the OTC, the original tribal chief versus the what Cody called him, the cosplay tribal chief. So I'm just seeing like if they're going to play this out to have a match at Bash at Berlin, or is it going to be an upcoming story all the way at least to Bad Blood? So yeah, with his return, I I stated before, like I wasn't sure if he was going to return or was Jimmy going to return, but with Roman returning, it just the pop was like, wow, it was amazing.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I lost it.
And let's talk about that pop because we do know that he is listed internally as a babyface. Roman Reigns is now in his babyface era. So I just wanted to know, Reese, do you feel like this is a full circle moment since we know the history of Roman Reigns with the company and them trying to make him that top guy initially and it didn't work out. So they kind of went a different direction and that ended up ultimately being the money for him. So do you think that this babyface era is a bit of redemption for Roman Reigns?
However, I don't feel like he's gonna be fully babyface. Like I think he's gonna be like a tweener, like an Austin or even a Rock. Like I think that's probably what it'll be. I think it is a little bit of a redemption. I know it's like it sucks that he had to get cancer for him to be appreciated,
Yeah.
but I think this time around, especially with the bloodline being so heavy, I think we're going to be fed for years. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. I mean,
Yeah. Real.
years. So I am interested to see where they go with this babyface run for Roman. I wonder if he's gonna be like pure babyface or he's gonna stay in that tweener. Like if he does get with the blood back with the bloodline, they're gonna be like, yeah, we remember what you, we gonna help you, but we remember that. Don't don't get too big. So I'm excited. See where they
Yeah.
go
I
with
mean,
that.
yeah, I agree with you too, because I do like how they played it at SummerSlam when he came. It wasn't like, I'm here to help Cody. It was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't like Solo, and it just so happened that you have a match against him. So guess what? This is now
Hmm.
your advantage, so you can take advantage of it or not. I don't really care. I want
No.
my belt back. That's what I get like from the perception from just that little stare down between him and Cody. What were you
I
gonna say,
got
Reese?
I got a listen. I'd rather be this still my cousin, he acting up. So I had to knock him out a little bit, but I'd rather get my belt off you than my family. That's how I
Okay,
see it.
Exactly.
yeah. Absolutely. Which I think is a dope story beat. I feel like it's another really interesting layer to Roman's character, especially the significance now of the lay. Now that we know that Sika has passed, all of that when Roman first became the tribal chief at Hell in a Cell, his father came and put that on him. So it's way more like emotional and way more gravity and like realness behind it, which I really, really appreciate. So let's actually, before we move on, I want to ask a question. It might be a little bit of a messy question, but what are we more excited to see? Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns or Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns? I feel like they're saving that Jacob Fatu interaction for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
That Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. They're gonna kill each other.
A babyface Roman?
They're gonna kill each other.
They are. Are.
Yeah.
They're gonna kill each
Yeah.
other. It's gonna be
Now,
like, wait, remember, y'all are really cousins. Wait a minute.
it's all love though. It's all
Remember
love though, y'all.
Because they did not touch each other at SummerSlam. They
I
didn't.
think that was
Ooh,
I
wonder
think
if we
that was
got
for a
like
reason.
if this is a deep cut, but like maybe a they don't touch for a year situation, kind of like with Taz and Sabu for the
Ooh.
ECW lovers, like how they didn't touch for a year and was always this tense. I wouldn't mind it. I love a slow burn.
I like a slow
But I am
burn
looking for
too. I
yeah.
like a slow burn too. So I'm definitely with the Jacob versus Roman is definitely the match that I want to see, but not to discredit Solo because I do think
Mhm.
that the story that has been built the past couple of months is a really, really good one. And the situation I think will culminate into a good match. So I am excited to
Yeah.
see where that goes.
I'm
But
surprised
let's
we got
move
Cody.
on. I'm excited. But let's move on to the top of the show where we had Cody Rhodes essentially picking Kevin Owens to be his next opponent at Bash at Berlin. KB, were you surprised with this choice?
But honestly, who else backstage will be good enough to go against Cody right now? I feel like Cody done went through almost everybody. He even went against Logan, and Logan was like very not I wouldn't say popular because some people is Logan is either a hit or miss, but I feel
Mhm.
like I couldn't think of anybody else that Cody could face right now.
Yeah.
So
Especially since we'll talk about it. It seems as though Randy is
Mhm.
now busy. So
exactly, that's it right
I don't know
there.
why they're keeping this feud away from us. I don't know what it
I don't
is.
know.
Yeah,
Even
Randy
like
might be
between the two
next.
best
He might be
friends,
next. So yeah,
you would think first choice would be Randy. So
Might be me now, yeah.
interesting. But Reese, what were you thinking when all that came to play on
Uh,
Friday?
KO's top 5. I love KO, so I was super excited about it. This match. Maybe I don't want to put too much on it, but I think match of the night for sure at Bash. But well, I don't know.
I
I think
mean,
maybe. I mean,
it's not a
because then I
crazy
had to think about
It's not a crazy call. I wouldn't call you a
oh,
man woman for
absolutely
that.
not. Yeah,
because I feel like
Mm-mm.
oh, like I like the Triple H era of these title matches we're getting. So I was about to say maybe that's match of the night, but then I was like, we're about to get Orton versus Gunther, which we'll talk about, I'm sure. So
Gunther!
I'm
Yeah,
just
that's about to
like,
cook.
I don't know. But I'm very, yeah. I was not surprised that it was KO, especially since Randy is busy, and I feel like on SmackDown, that's it for me. Those are like the only ones that I could have really thought of, especially with Solo being preoccupied or
Yeah.
agreed.
like couldn't see, and especially with Jacob being injured, like I couldn't see any of that. So I was like Kevin Owens was the right choice. LA Knight's busy, got the IC title. He's the right choice.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's gonna be a really, really good match. I agree with you, Reese. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do into the story beats. When is Bash at Berlin?
August 31st,
August
Mhm.
31st. Okay, so that is this month.
my
Okay.
parents'
So I'm very
anniversary.
My
Oh, happy
grandparents'
anniversary to
anniversary.
them. Oh wow, that's dope.
That's how I remember.
Yeah. I know you knew that, like but yeah, I'm excited. I'm very curious to see. I hope that we have a couple Fridays before that. I hope that they keep them busy, give us something interesting to chew on with the promos and everything that they're doing in the upcoming weeks, because it is a babyface versus babyface
Mhm.
matchup. So I'm curious to see how they play that. Moving on, we have the Big Three is back. The Big Three is back. We were asking
They heard
during the
our
SummerSlam
prayers.
recap, yes, where is Naomi? Where is Naomi? Her music hit. She got a thunderous pop. Everybody rejoiced. Kids
Natural
sang
hair is
and
back.
danced. Yeah.
The Megan Thee Stallion cosplay. We love it.
It's the hair for me.
Looking good. First of all, the Twitter people are wrong. Stop bullying Trenton on Twitter. The reason why she's not wearing that bang wig anymore is because Twitter told her to stop.
Oh yeah,
Well,
she said something about that. Yeah.
They literally were like, stop, and kept replying to her, and she was like, I have one wig left, and they were like, no, don't wear it. I'm like, wear it, make them mad,
I
show
feel
the
like she
bang one more
made
It
time.
don't look bad in it. I just feel like is she talking about the wigs that like got customized and stuff? I don't like. I
Well,
like the wigs.
I like the bang era. I think it's something different. I think
Well, what?
Reese,
Now you know I'm a Beyonce stan, but when Beyonce do the Beyonce bangs, I'm not a fan of those. But when you had the bangs that's right here,
as a
I
Beyonce
love
fan,
it.
we don't bring that up. We don't bring up the Beyonce bangs. We don't bring up the
listen.
Beyonce
Hey,
bangs.
I support my faves and I support women's rights and wrongs. And even if that was the wrong decision,
Oh
not knowing that
man.
she was bullied, knowing that she was bullied into not wearing it, I'm just like, but they're good. I just love natural hair Naomi. I do. I just love natural hair
From
Naomi. So it was
yeah.
just like when she did it, I was like, oh my god, thank goodness. Like, and the wigs, of
Yeah.
course, they're always creative, and that really was her signature when she really made a name for herself outside of WWE.
Yes.
So for
Yes. And I
that,
think that's important.
support it. But thank
Exactly.
goodness,
I
the
don't think
natural
her
hair.
wigs was bad.
We moved
It was a
on.
lot
They're
of
not
wigs that I
bad.
seen. It was a lot of
I
wigs that
enjoyed
smelled
them.
bad. Yeah.
I enjoyed them. I like the switch up. I like the Bang era.
The
That being said
mania,
though,
that's creative.
yes, and even people were telling her no more like the bodysuit. Like no more bodysuit. We want the two-piece. I'm like, "Oh my god, like y'all are
Okay,
so
no, I like the bodysuit
like
now.
y'all are so entitled." I was like, "Oh my
Very
goodness."
entitled. The only issue I had with one outfit was that it kept causing a malfunction. Other than that, like
I
just try
liked
it on, make sure you can
it.
move in it. That's it.
I like
Exactly.
most of
I'm
the
all for trying new things. And she got the body to pull it off. She got the everything to pull it off.
If I
So,
had Naomi's body, I'd walk in every room backwards. Listen.
Period. Listen. Couldn't tell me
just like
nothing.
this.
I'll be
Listen.
standing like this.
Like, what you
What
say?
Okay.
y'all doing?
Booty entering the room first. Hello,
Right. Like,
everybody.
I'm walking every room backwards. What?
That is too funny. But all that being said, we have the big three back. I'm excited to see what we're going to do with Alba, Isla, and Blair versus the big three. Reese,
Mhm.
how do you feel about where they're the trajectory? Do you think that this is a good call to keep them together, or do you think that they should be doing their own thing? Like they should all be individual singles?
Thank God they're on TV.
Period.
That's where I'm at.
Absolutely.
That's where
Right.
I'm at.
Period.
Right.
I am interested in
Hmm.
seeing it because I can tell you this: I was not interested in Blair Davenport, and when she got called up, I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then she gets put into this feud. I'm just like, okay, let's see where this goes. I do think that it is the right call to keep them all three together. I have my theories, channeling my Gabby. I do
Ooh.
have my theories for how things
Let
will
me
break
hear it. Let
up,
me hear it.
how they'll come apart. I do think that Bianca's the one who turns heel. Um, I do. I feel like with this, it keeps them out of the title picture and keeps us focusing on Tiffy, the briefcase, Naya.
Mhm.
Especially with all of them being on SmackDown now. If it was up to me, I think maybe Jade would have been drafted to Raw.
I would have
Um,
separated them, yeah.
I would have separated them, but since they're all here, I think that we have to get to Jade Bianca at Mania main event somehow. I don't think we see
Ooh.
it this Mania. I think we see it later, but I definitely
Okay.
think we see. I would love to see a Bianca heel turn with this. So I think keeping them together is. I think this is a good move for right now. Keeps them engaged, keep them on TV, keeps them having something to do, and it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Now if it starts getting stale, I do understand that it can probably yeah, it starts getting stale. I do understand that sometimes things like this does get a little stale where it's just like, okay, Bianca is a how many time world champion, former main eventer of WrestleMania. Is this all
Yeah.
she's gonna do? I think for right now.
Agreed. I think, yeah, I agree. I think it's the right call simply because of the fact that the main event scene is already super busy. Having
Mhm.
all three women on the show, I think it's a great opportunity to one, get some really great matchups, get some great tag matches, showcase more women, and then also I want to see Naomi more. I just feel like Naomi has not been properly showcased since her return. That's not to say that I don't think that Triple H has necessarily forgotten about her, because he includes her in every conversation, but I feel as though there needs to be a little bit more. I feel like every single Triple H return has gotten their just dues, and Naomi is the last one who has not gotten their just dues. So KB, I do want to ask you though, just to go back a little bit, because I feel like the Bianca heel thing is a really, really good topic. Do you think that it's time for Bianca to go heel? Or do you see the vision of her going heel within like the next 6 months to a year?
Well, I do agree. I feel like Bianca is the one that's going to turn. I do feel like it's going to happen at this WrestleMania, not the next one, because
Okay.
I think there's still time. We still have months ahead, but I do
Yeah.
feel like their momentum has slowed down because once the titles changed hands, we wasn't really seeing much of the title picture. So I do feel like it's going to end up being Bianca turning because she's probably going to feel like, okay, I was here first, and here you come, and
Mhm.
I was here for you, but you're slowing me down. I think I had peeped a video where it was like you could see possible tension between Jade and Bianca with them losing the tag title. So I could just see Bianca turning like you're holding me up.
Ooh. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. For me personally, it's hard because with Bianca, her as a baby face is, I don't like to compare people, but it's John Cena levels of over. Like when
Oh
she
yeah.
makes that decision, when that
Yeah.
night comes and they're like, you're turning tonight, there's gonna be girls, young boys, grown men, grown women crying in the crowd. Like they're gonna cut to people when she's beating Jade, and there's gonna be small children sobbing. So I feel like that's
Mhm.
going to be a really, really big moment. And if they're going to do it within the next 6 months to a year, they need to do it right. It has to be like,
Mhm.
It has to be
Wait,
told very
what?
well. Yes,
it has
absolutely.
to be like, oh my God, she's already dead. Stop. Like it has to be brutal, 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 brutal. That's the only way that
Ooh, I just thought of
I'll
something.
be okay.
Bianca is good
Ooh.
on a mic as a baby face, but I feel like as a heel, she
It's
gets it.
better.
She's just like,
Money.
What if Naomi turns?
ooh.
Team Bad era?
Listen, I have been saying that I would love for Naomi to turn for like years now. I would like before she even left, I wanted her to turn. I would
Oh, I
love to
love
see
Team Bad.
a
What?
heel
Bring back
Naomi.
Oh yeah, I love Team Bad.
Oh
Team
bring
my
back
Bad for sure.
God.
Yes.
when sh when she cut that promo was like, "Me and AJ Lee were in the same NXT class, and you talk about she a Hall of Famer." I was like, "Okay, talk your stuff, Naomi."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just feel like we always expect Jade because naturally Jade presents as a heel. Like, let's be real, Jade has a heel face. Like, she's a
She
gorgeous
got
She
that
does.
woman, but
bossy.
she's just
She
like,
does.
Yeah.
look at me. Like, duh, look at me.
She does.
And it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, I don't want to like you. So I think everybody does expect that. But, oh, I would love a Naomi turn.
Yeah. So I agreed. Naomi or Bianca, I think would either or options would be a really, really good option. And I think both have good reasons to go because Jade, she's here. She has no reason to complain. She came in first couple of months. She got the tag
She's like a
titles.
star.
She's featured weekly. She's a star. You know what I'm saying? Like Triple H treats her like one. So if I was Jade, I would have no reason to get mad. Personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I like this. I like this. I like this where this is going. But let's move on. Let's head over to AEW. I want to talk about the glamour era. I want to get into a little bit of what's been going on with a little bit of the women's division as well in AEW. Just a little pin conversation, but I have been loving everything that they've been doing with the presenting of Mariah May. From
Yes.
the gear change, the shoe, to like the antagonizing, dressing up like Tony and all of those different things. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really, really good choice. The Tony end of it. So here's my vision, right?
Mhm.
I knew that she was going to be off TV for a couple weeks after the Mariah May beatdown. I kind of thought that she was going to come back as original Tony. Some people might boo me. Some people might be like,
Like rock
I'm
and
still
roller.
here. Yeah, like I'm still here for Timeless Tony. Like I'm still riding the wave. I wasn't upset that we got Timeless Tony back. I think that this is like a new opportunity for her to show a different layer in that character. But I was just a little bit like, oh, because we've only ever seen that character play comedic. So I'm very, very curious. I was very, very curious to see where she
It will
would
go.
take it. I think it's been a really, really good job so far, but I want to throw it to you, KB. How do you feel so far about everything that's been going on with this feud?
So I agree. I do feel like with the Timeless Tony, I feel like she should keep that character, and we should see a new layer with her
Mhm.
being upset that Mariah May turned on her. Because it was like with her just popping out, her with coming up with these gifts, and it's the sign to say "Die, Mariah, die." Her pretending to be, backstage and just taking off this mask and just angry. I'm just excited to see how this goes. Like I'm very, very excited for this match.
Yeah, what about you, Reese?
I am excited about that. I see why you thought she would go back to that rocker era. I do think that we might at the when is their next match? Because I know AEW pay-per-views, they are so far in between.
I
Yeah,
think
let
it's the
me
Think
end
at
of
look.
their
August.
next Yeah, so at their next PLE, I do think we see shades of it, like, with
Okay.
it being timeless, that is a part of her time. I am excited to see what we like what Timeless Tony is gonna do. Like Mariah May's presentation from when she first got there, even has
Yes.
just been impeccable. I think they're doing an amazing job, especially when you have Mercedes Monet here, and she was such a big deal. And we're like, what is
Yeah.
she doing? What is she doing? It keeps people's minds away from. It's just like, oh yeah, we don't need Mercedes in this feud. They are
Exactly.
killing
Yeah.
it right now with just this.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that'll be good.
I think it's a great point. Like they didn't need to shoot anybody into the main event picture. They had a story, they stuck with it, and I believe personally that it's really, really starting to pay off. I'm excited to see where it goes. Do we think Mariah May goes over?
Yes, I think she does.
I think it's kind of like Mickey James Trish Stratus. Like I feel like she kind of has to.
Yeah.
I'm still torn. I want her to so
Oh.
bad. I want her to. Y'all know Mariah May is my boo. I've been a fan of her since, well, I've been following her since before she even decided to wrestle. So it's just like, love you. But then it's just like, I think shenanigans.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
But would I mind it? No, I would love to see it happen if it happens. I'm like ecstatic, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think it would be like the perfect ending to like this chapter and cementing Mariah May as a top heel. Like
Right.
she not only destroys her mentor and then takes the belt from her. Like homegirl trained her. Homegirl was like at her matches in the tracksuit, the rollers, like, oh my gosh, look at my protege.
Yes.
To do that and then to defeat her, I feel
Who-
like it would cement Mariah May as a force, a serious, serious force in the division. I think it would be very, very fresh to see her as a champion as well. Because what is this, like Tony's third or fourth time? And it's a testament to Tony because she's held that belt for a considerable amount of time and she's had fantastic matchups, fantastic defenses, fantastic character work, storyline, through lines throughout. I haven't even really noticed per se, like, oh wow, like like Tony's been champion for an extremely long time. Like I'm with
Yeah.
it. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. So super, super awesome. Excited to see where that goes. Hopefully Mariah gets the dub. But we'll
I
see.
hope so. I'd be
I think it
excited.
would be, especially since like she's a UK girl, all
Mhm.
in, like
Oh, that pop
it,
is
it,
gonna be
it,
it. Ooh.
oh, it writes itself, like it writes itself to me. It writes itself to me. So moving on, I do want to touch on a little bit of MJF. MJF, just because he has been going over. I feel like ever since he won the Intercontinental Championship, there has been like a lot of. We know that MJF is a controversial figure.
Right.
Yep.
He says how he feels, but it feels as though he's been going more so towards the sides of the Jack Swagger side of things, where he's just being very like I don't know if you guys saw that CMLL
Oh, I
that
didn't see.
CMLL
I missed it.
promo. He essentially cut a promo basically talking about how people going into his country that da 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 da. He's at a CMLL show.
Mm. Okay,
He,
Zeb Coulter.
yes, like he's basically essentially stealing JBL's personality with the slight with a dash of racism. So
Yeah.
how do we feel about this new character direction? I feel like MJF had a really good turn of things during like the whole Adam Cole era, the whole babyface era. There was a lot of he's very lovable now and things like that. So to to come back and have this such a stark change, how are we feeling? I want to do a little temperature check. How do we How are we enjoying the new MJF character, or at least
I'm not enjoying
evolution?
I'm not enjoying much of MJF, especially with recent news about Britt Baker and things like that. So it's just like first you come with this character, this new
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
now first of
that
all,
bothered me.
and
Like,
you're also a minority, which is like okay, right, cool. But then this happens. It's just like I think you're taking it too far. I don't know if you're getting a little big for your britches. I don't know, like. If we're going down
Yeah.
that road of maybe you're taking your character work a little too far and it might bleed over into you being not so great of a human. So I hope that's
Yeah.
not
I
the
mean,
case.
yeah, of course, of course. To be fair though, MJF has always he's always like
Yeah,
crossed like had that his foot on
cross
that
that boundary.
line. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, like he's like when he I remember when he spilled the water on that kid, like that was a
He takes his
huge,
heel
huge, huge
job.
discourse. But do we think that this type of character is needed in wrestling today?
No, not in 2024.
nah.
It's
Okay.
not. Like not in 2024 in this climate. Like I get it. Like you want to get the most heel heat of like that you want, but it's just like you said, with a
Right.
dash of racism, where it's like JBL, we know that JBL is actually a liberal. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, ugh. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
at
yeah.
this point in time we need that. Like MJF is already an asshole enough without being racist. Like you don't need to make us hate you more. Like I think wrestling fans get it enough already. You don't need to make us like you don't need to be like also send all the Mexicans back to the border. Like you don't need to do that. Like I don't
Yeah, especially like when you're at a CMLL show, like what's going on? Like what's going
like, I get
on?
it.
Like
You wanna get heat, you wanna get the cheap heat, you wanna get the cheap pop. I get it. I get it. So it's like one of those things where it's like it's wrestling, but then it's also like that you don't wanna isolate or alienate anybody as far as that. And again,
100%.
wrestling, like is there like there's it's wrestling. Like not everything is
Yeah.
not supposed to be we like to watch grown men fake fight each other in their underwear. So like it's not that serious. But but like yeah, I
The
don't think that's
implications
it.
of it, you know,
Yeah, right,
100%,
right.
100%. I get where you're coming from. Do you like what about you, KB? How are you feeling about it?
I feel like MJF is he doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to do like the point of the racism or the other stuff. Because as someone who met him before, I got to experience like he stays in character even at the meet and greet. So it's like he knows where to stop. So he doesn't have to do the slight racism. It's just unnecessary. He can just stay as a heel and keep it as that. So yeah, I'm him going back to heel. I feel like that's natural for him, but he doesn't have to do the like that belt name changed like 3 times.
Literally. Absolutely. Okay. Just wanted to pick y'all's brains on that. I thought that the Kyle Fletcher match that he had was pretty good. He did his job making Kyle Fletcher continue to look like a star. I think that was really all he had to do, and I think he succeeded in that. The brutalization at the end. My whole thing with AEW is if you're gonna do it, make it matter. You know what I mean?
Right,
If we see it every week, it's like, oh no,
right,
somebody got clobbered again. You know, it doesn't have like
right.
the same level of weight that they're trying to make it have. So
Like that you bleed every people somebody bleeds every show. It's like it's not
Every show.
I'm like, okay, girl, like, like okay, girl,
Mhm.
like you're just the one of the week, like you know. So
it's
like from that,
9:30.
like it's 9:30, you're over here bleeding, like I guess, but I mean, I get it, but at the same time, like for example, like the Mariah May, how they use blood. I thought that
Mhm.
was extremely effective and extremely harrowing.
Right.
But when it comes to just doing it for the sake of doing it, I'm good. I'm good.
It's like I don't
So
need you to be
moving,
pouring.
it's not
Everybody.
necessary. Like, don't cut up your nice forehead. Like, I'm sure Sky Blue wants you to have a nice forehead. You know, so like, don't do that. So moving on. Moving on to TNA. We don't have a lot, we don't have too much of a TNA heavy segment, but I do want to talk about because it has been going crazy all over the dirt sheets this past week that there are rumors that Josh Alexander will be making an appearance very soon in WWE. I have to give it to Reese because she's over here ecstatic. What does this mean? Like what does this mean for WWE? What does this mean for the division? How are you feeling about it?
Him versus everybody. I don't care. Who are you giving us first? Yeah. That's what I want.
Love it.
I don't
Love
care.
it.
I don't care. Him
Just
versus
give it.
Trick. Him versus Ethan Pay. Give me whatever I want with Josh Alexander in it, and I'll be happy.
Yeah, basically. I'm super excited. I started watching TNA during when Trinity made that transition over there. And when I started watching, Josh Alexander was somebody who immediately stuck out to me and somebody who I immediately would like, if I'm fast forwarding, I'll be like, oh, I kind of want to see what he has to say. Like if he's cutting a promo, I kind of want to like what he's doing in this match. So I'm very, very excited. Do you think that he's going to go through NXT?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes, but Josh
You don't think that
Alexander
he's going to be the first person to
Rollins?
break down the door? Like to break down the door?
Oh,
I
it'd
would
be a great
love for him to
choice.
be the first
I want
person.
to. I really do. I do. But like, who would it be again? LA Knight? No. Former TNA. LA Knight. Maybe. Oh, I don't know.
We went past SmackDown, but I was saying that I would love for LA Knight. I feel like it fits his character to do like a weekly open challenge. That
Yes.
would be
Bring him back.
To have Josh Alexander come out for that. That would be a really, really dope pop, really, really dope surprise. And I imagine a fantastic match. So
But I do get why they would be a little hesitant though in certain cities, because like not everywhere is a smart crowd. So I understand like where you run into
yeah, it would
issues.
have
I
to be
remember
strategic. It would have
yeah,
to be
like
strategic.
it would have to be on maybe a PLE, like a smaller PLE, like where LA Knight just has an open challenge. Well, I don't know. Well,
Yes.
but then no. I
Maybe like
think maybe
maybe hometown boy or something.
yeah, like yes, that
Something
would
something where it's
definitely
like
work.
very like he's definitely coming.
Yeah, like of how we know, like I feel like there are very few like wrestlers that can kind of make that jump to the main stage, and people will be like, "Oh, I get it." And I think like AJ Styles was one of them. The okay, God, okay. They made it. Yay, I get
Yeah.
it. But I think there are very few that are still like those pops on the main roster where you're like, oh, this makes sense that they came straight here. And I feel like the
Exactly.
last one for that, we can talk about that later. Like the last one for that, I feel like it's not Josh Alexander.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's
No
fair.
shade.
Do you
He's great.
think that I feel like a lot of people expected when the TNA merger started, a lot of people thought that it was going to be like the door is open. Somebody's going to come on Raw, somebody's going to come on SmackDown, like it's basically going to be a through line to all three shows. But as of right now, the portal has just been confined to NXT. I'm personally okay with that. A lot of fans are being very Twitter fans and
Right.
saying that that TNA is getting the short end of the stick and blah 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 and all of these different things. I mean, if you give me Jordan Grace and then I get Izzy Dame,
I get
I don't
that.
I don't want to like discredit anybody any talent, of course, but I get that sentiment. I do get that sentiment, but at the same time, I low-key think that TNA is going to be under WWE within the next year. Like that's my hot take of the episode. I think that because I mean they're already under TKO. They're already under TKO. It seems
Right.
like that's something that's Joe Hendry like released an article saying like a statement saying that he's fully training at the performance center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's
And he's
giving.
popping. He's popping on NXT. Like he comes out and then everybody is singing his theme song.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. We're going to that. Triple H has always been trying to do that. Like I remember when the Black and Gold first started, he tried to do a lot with like progress with Evolve, which is why we have these like people like Pete Dunne and things like that. And I do think maybe
facts.
TNA. I hope they don't get Ring of Honor, but like I think TNA will be under. I think that TNA will be under
Listen.
there, and I do think that there is opportunities. Like I know the Royal Rumble for sure, because Jordan Grace got
Yeah.
a pretty big pop. I
Hmm.
was gagged. I had
I was so
saw
happy for
something,
her.
Me
but I
too.
didn't know. I was like, I was gagged, so I wouldn't mind
Maybe.
seeing maybe AJ Styles, who big, like he's almost AJ Styles is starting to get to that end where he's doing his not his farewell tour, because he's not leaving within the next year, but where he's starting to just do matches for fun now. I can see him going
Yeah.
back there. I can see Naomi going back there. So while I think it won't just be stuck to NXT, I think they'll expand it, but I don't think we're gonna see Roman Reigns versus moves. Like, I don't think we're gonna see that.
Versus Frankie Kazarian anytime soon.
Right, like anytime soon. I don't think that, but I do think that we will send like an AJ style, someone who has the history there, or like Naomi. We'll send her the women for sure. I think
Yeah, I
that the
mean Jordan's
women's
contract's
division will
up.
be different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jordan's contract's up for during Rumble season.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of potential there. So I'm very curious to see where it's gonna go. I personally hope that if they do merge everything, I hope that they keep TNA. You know, like I hope it's not like NXTNA. I hope they just keep TNA as its like its own separate entity. I don't want them to get ROH, but
Right.
Absolutely.
I do like I just want them to be just give them an upgrade, production upgrade. You know, like help them. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to necessarily seem like
Right.
WWE swallowing them up. Just more so enhancing what's already there.
Because not everybody needs to be signed. Like the Mae Young Classic, I can use that as an example. The Cruiserweight Classic, not everybody from that got signed, but it
Yeah.
showcased a bunch of indie talent and it puts them on that main WWE stage. And I think that will be a good addition for TNA. Like to be like, okay, we
Absolutely.
have them, and sometimes the Good Brothers may come. You know,
Yeah,
like
you never know. Yeah,
right.
like make sure you tune in.
Right. I think that would
Yeah,
be probably best case scenario.
best case scenario.
Yeah.
All right, nice. So I just wanted to do a little TNA talk there, but let's head back over to WWE to talk some NXT. Now, we're gonna mention him a little bit towards the end of the show because we respect Pete Dunne in this home. But who was shocked that Pete Dunne won on Tuesday?
Oh, no, I wasn't shocked. I feel like
Reason's like,
I feel like what was
don't
going
put him.
on. I feel like what's going on with him popping up back in NXT. I feel like the win doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't.
Okay. Yes,
It-
because I feel like a lot of people were like, "What the?" But I think it's a good choice. I think it's a great choice. We're building Pete Dunne back up. He has like a new character beat, as well as I like Shawn Michaels. He has like a little bit of a formula with his champions.
Mhm.
He did it with Carmelo and he did it with Braun, and I think that it's very very beneficiary to their characters because they have them win at a big. They have them get the big moment, the big PLE moment, and then they have them lose the belt and just like a crazy like like when Carmelo lost against Dolph, you know, like very very just like randomly, and he went on an L streak. Same thing for Braun. I think that this is what's going on with Trick right now, giving him more layers to the character, adding more in-ring psychology so that he can come back even stronger. Because I thought that he was going to be holding that belt through the CW change. He's like the
Me
perfect
too.
person. He's the perfect person to be the face of NXT on the CW.
I
So
don't think it'll change though.
yeah, not anytime
Still
soon.
right.
Like KB, how long do you see Ethan Page holding that belt for?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure because as of now he was in a storyline with Ora Mensah and they made it seem like he can count the 1 2 3 without being an official match, and then we had the official match. Of course he was gonna lose. Like I knew that was coming, but it's like
Yeah.
who's gonna be one to dethrone him? So it's just a watch and see for me.
I think
But
Trick.
yeah.
I think Trick gets it back.
Trick.
That's why I think you're still right where he's gonna have the belt through the CW era. I do. I think he is gonna be the face through the CW era. But like you said, he's on his losing streak right now. I do think he'll be a 2-time
Yeah.
champion.
Yeah, you mentioned Oro. It makes me wonder because I would love for Noam to have like an actual. It seemed as though that's where we're heading, Trick versus Noam, and then unfortunately he was injured. And now
Mhm.
Metaphor they've been doing their best to try to keep them on TV, but obviously without Noam, it's a little bit hard. So would you guys like to see a potentially like with Noam come back and not necessarily try to go against Tony D'Angelo, but just go straight towards the main event and try to take the belt back from Ethan Page? Technically, Ethan Page also did take him out. I did forget that as well. So he most likely is going to come back with Ethan Page on his mind. But do you guys see him taking it? No.
No. No,
Yeah.
no. He's one of
I'm
those fixtures still
sick.
from the
I'm
Cruiserweight Classic era,
sick.
but no,
I'm
no,
sick.
I know. Don't.
Because
I
Yeah.
think
I love him, and I feel like what he's done with Metaphor, the way that he kind of was able to, one, always keeps a baddie, gotta respect that,
Period.
and two,
that's a great.
and two, what he did with Metaphor, I feel like NXT hasn't capitalized before Noam's injury enough. They had them host and deliver, but they needed merch. Like they needed more tag matches. They needed Noam to represent on more singles competition.
Yeah,
I feel like they could have made Metaphor 10 times bigger than what it was.
for
So
sure.
so I'm a little
I think
bummed
he,
from that
I think
aspect.
he has a North American title reign in him
I
for
could see
sure.
that. I
Yeah,
would love
I can
that.
see that.
Not against Oba. Uh, the David
You
and
know
Goliath
what? You know,
story
I
would be
think
sick.
he is. You know, I think he's next. I think he has to lose in like a ladder match. Like there has to be
Ooh.
a multi-man situation just to protect Oba. I think that would be the best case. Like you
The
have to
best,
protect
yeah.
Oba for me because I feel like Trick Williams will be the champ through the CW era, but I think that's who's gonna dethrone Trick.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
100%.
You
And
know, I still want him to be
also,
the Paul Heyman guy.
yeah, oh, I love that theory. I still love that theory, Reese. So definitely, we talked a little bit about the main event scene, Trick losing. Do agree that we do think that that's a great character beat for him. Add another layer to his character. Excited to see where Pete Dunne is going. Do want to mention one of my matches that I would recommend for the week is definitely Kaylani versus Tatum. Fantastic, fantastic match. Really, really
Tatum,
good.
that was the most I've ever paid attention to her. I said, let me go back and watch because
She's
I'm looking
amazing.
and I was
Tatum?
like,
She's amazing. Yeah.
Tatum, I'm so sorry. I'd be going to the bathroom on your matches, girl. I apologize.
I wasn't familiar with your game.
I
Like I
was
wasn't
not
familiar
familiar
with your
with your game.
game.
Oh, I
Yeah,
need
she
her
yeah,
immediately.
she eats. Have you seen her finisher?
Man,
Oh
like
yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah,
asleep.
yeah,
I literally must have been sleeping.
yeah, yeah. It just goes to
Sleeping.
show. It just goes to show how extensive the NXT women's division really
Yeah.
is. She might be like top 3 moveset for me right now. But
Yeah.
Kaylani has my favorite moveset in the NXT women's division right now. I
Ooh.
love the mixture of the RVD. I love how she execute moves. I feel like she played the leg injury like a pro. The in-ring
Mhm.
Yeah.
psychology. I'm so happy for her because I felt so bad when she won. Everybody was like, "What?"
It's
So
her character. I think you're a fan of her when the bell rings. That's me. Like, I'm a fan of her when the bell rings. It's just like,
that's
look,
fair.
I'm happy
That's
to
fair because
be here. And it's just like,
she's kind of babyface
mm-hmm.
template right now. She's kind of babyface template right now, but
It's
once
like,
I feel like there's something in her career. She needs a story beat. You know what I mean? Like how Roxanne
right.
when Becky Lynch came out and everybody cheered for Becky and booed Roxanne. That was a new like a really really good character inspiration for her and a new direction that she could potentially go in. She needs something like that. But KB, what did you think of this match of Kaylani versus Tatum?
I enjoyed it. I pay attention to Tatum a little more. Shout out to Griff because he was like, "Pay attention to her. She's it."
Yeah.
And I've been watching her. Like I feel like her character is so different, and that's what attracted me to her. But the shocking point for me of the match, like before I even get to the end, but I just feel like with Kaylani, I feel like her best work was with Soul because they both was able to execute moves based off their previous careers.
Yes.
But yeah, Tatum has an excellent moveset of her own. But like the end, I did not expect Wendy to turn that fast.
Yeah, that was like a whole other thing. So I'm like, I guess we're getting Wendy versus Tatum before Wendy versus Kaylani? Or
Maybe.
Tatum sabotages Wendy's match?
Yeah, maybe. And
Either,
then and at
yeah.
least the
Yeah.
Tatum versus Wendy. Because it seemed like Wendy was like, I played dolls with you. Then all of a sudden she came out and was like, nah, I
She
want
said
that
you
belt
lost.
too.
Yeah, she
I
said
want
you
that belt
lost.
too.
Playtime's over, sweetheart.
Period.
Moving on to the main event. I would love to next week we gotta pick Gabby's brain on this, man. Because
And
oh
this week's
man.
episode of Gabby's Always Right.
literally. But 2 great main events back to back for the Great American Bash. Thea Hale versus Roxanne Perez, and then now we have Fraxium versus MSK. Yeah, MSK, not the Rascals. So that was a really, really good matchup. What did we think of that finish? Like, let's just fast forward. Let's just get right into it. What did we think of that finish?
He was already crying before he got kicked in the face. I said, wow, okay.
Where is Zach's Oscar? When he was like, what are you doing? That's your brother. Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. He don't know. Does he know? Like, does he know what's about to happen?
That gave me Shield feels because, like, in the Shield, who I thought was gonna turn was Dean Ambrose. Never thought Seth, the architect. Wes Lee was the last person
Yeah.
I thought would turn heel. I mean, I'm excited to see heel Wes Lee. I don't know how that's gonna look.
I like it.
I'm excited to see it. I'm always down for a heel turn. Always.
And he's like, you left me. I said, okay, I see where this is going. I get it.
Yeah. I low-key think Wes not necessarily needed it, but I think it had to happen. Like, something big had to happen soon. Because I love Wes. And every week, this man was just so sad.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, listen.
He lost a smile.
I get it. But we gotta move on. Like, we gotta move forward. So it was, I feel like, getting a little bit redundant. That aspect of it. Even when they were like in the backstage interview, when he was like talking about them and he was like putting his hands on their shoulders and he was like, guys, like, I'm so happy that you guys are here. I'm like, Wes, stand up. Like, please. Like, I want to see something more. Like, I feel like that's just all we've seen from him since his return. It's just very, very sad. So yeah, I like this. I think that this is a really, really cool thing for him to do, you know, because he, again, someone who has been in NXT for a very long time and someone who is one of the most lovable people on the roster. So I think that this will be a really good opportunity for him to try something new and try to get that crowd to hate him. I would love to see if he can successfully do it, because to boo Wes Lee,
absolutely
right. It's like
unheard of. Like, it doesn't feel right. Like,
it makes sense. Like, hey, you guys, and then you left me, and then went and had a whole y'all back buddy.
Yeah, y'all was over there
without me. I'm getting my ass kicked over here
without me. Like, what's going on here?
Fighting for my life.
Fighting for my life.
All my life I had to fight.
That was Wes. Like, that was Wes literally every week. Every week, man.
Yeah, it's like,
but I thought it was dope.
Sorry.
I thought it was dope. I also like, when you turn heel, I need to see the viciousness. Like, the viciousness factor needs to be at 100. Like, even if you guys are friends in real life, you got to lay them in a little. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to feel, especially if you're a top, like a huge baby face, someone like Wes Lee, I need to see you in a completely different light. So I think that they successfully did a really, really good job.
It needs to be personal. It needs to be. Like, I need to feel like you really throwing hands. Like Naomi versus Cameron. Now I need to see Molly Whopping. I need to see that. It's personal. I like that.
Absolutely. So, Great American Bash. Love anytime that NXT does one of their PLEs. But now let's get into Raw. Now, we've been waiting to get to Raw because, all right, where should we start? I think that we should start with Bronson Reed, just because I actually want to toss it to Reese. Please tell me what you were thinking during that entire program.
So I was at Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw flew to Baltimore, you know?
Baltimore.
Where he came, I was like, oh, I'm excited to see Bronson Reed. I'm a fan of Bronson Reed. Like, I'm interested to see what he can do. But it seems like every time he gets a little far, he stops. He gets a little far, he stops. He gets a little far, he's in a big match, he stops. So it's just like, now, when he kept going, I was like, oh, this is great. The crowd was on fire. I'm like, oh, this is what I need to see. This is what I need to see from him. This is like, he's like, oh, I'm going to take it. You're not going to stop me this time.
100%. when he looked in that camera and he was like, you gotta take opportunities in this life or whatever he said. I was like, absolutely. I'm excited. I can't wait to see where this goes. KB, how are you feeling? Like, R.I.P. Seth. Like,
yes,
oh my God.
I had to stop watching. I stopped watching because I was like, oh my goodness, this is too
she
much
was like,
for me.
y'all.
I sure did text you. I said,
She texted
y'all
me,
cheering for this man?
Yeah, I can't believe y'all cheering for that. Like,
I did. Because the crowd, every time he got back up, it was just like more and more.
one more time.
Like, he's breathing out his mouth. Wait a minute now. Nope, I'm not watching no more.
Oh
Nope.
my God. Oh my God.
I said, let me know when it's over with. Because he was just a
when they posted the
being
count.
smashed. Like,
No.
I'm just, that's all I can think about.
No.
Just like,
no.
over it.
Not.
No. Nope, turn this off. I just, like, Biggie, what you doing? I cannot.
I don't blame you. My personal favorite part of this entire thing was the Instagram post from the WWE social media where they did like the count of how many times he did it. That was just so funny to me. It was. I'll send it to the group chat. It was hilarious. I'm excited to see where it goes. I think it's seeming like Seth Rollins is injured, unfortunately. Yeah, so it does seem like they had to write him off TV for a little bit. I mean, like, even when he came back a couple weeks ago, I was shocked that he was back. So
rushing the healing time, and he needs to go back down. I get it.
You said it. You said it. but I guess like now our questions have all been answered because it's looking like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is going to continue going forward without that level of interference from Seth. So very curious to see where that goes. Very curious to see what the new direction for Bronson Reed is. I hope that he's kind of like the Braun Breaker template where he just comes out every week and just smashes someone. Like just do that. Like just start climbing the top rope.
Until you give him a match. Like, I'm gonna get y'all attention somehow. I'm gonna destroy all your main eventers and tell.
Yeah.
And then I would text y'all like I gotta start watching.
I clocked out at that point. I clocked out. But okay, moving on. We had the amazing debut of Odyssey Jones. That was very much exciting. He was drafted. Yes, he was drafted months ago. Finally, the resurgence of Odyssey Jones.
Technically, he was drafted the last draft before this one, and he never debuted for Raw.
I wasn't gonna mention that, but
sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. Poor Odyssey. But he's here now. Yeah, he's here now, and that's what's the most important thing. How did we feel about this debut?
I was excited.
It was lit. It was lit.
The way that they presented him, he looked like a monster.
Absolutely, he picked up both authors of him. Like, okay, let me see what's going on here.
And those are not scrawny men. So I was like, okay. He means business. This is a very serious man. So I thought that was dope. But something that I thought was very interesting from this segment, it's looking like I think Xavier is going to turn on Kofi, guys.
No.
I feel like
I don't want it to happen.
I know.
But it's when he went backstage and was like, "Oh, see, behind my back."
Yeah, I feel like
I wanted to do it myself.
He's gonna feel like Kofi and Odyssey's gonna have this bond, and he's like, you can't replace Big E. That's why I just feel like it leads to the turn. So
that's another that's a great point, KB. That he could be like, "What the is this? Like, he is not Big E. Like, why is he like why?" You know what I'm saying? Because we've had since Big E injury, we've had like different combinations of Kofi and Xavier. They've teamed up with Jay for a couple weeks. They had like a stint with Sammy, like multiple different like combinations. But I think it would be really, really cool to kind of piggyback on what you said, KB, to have Odyssey like week to week and just seeing the irritation on Xavier of like,
you're not Big E.
All right, like
you can't make fetch happen. Like
yeah, exactly. That's all I know. Like that. And period.
I don't know. You know, I love it. I love you some Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm excited. I liked a lot of the stuff that he did in NXT. Especially during like the 2.0 era, they didn't really feature him. Like, and that's when I started watching him. Or watching the program. So I didn't get to see too much of him. So I'm excited to see what he does. I hope that we get a lot of really good matches out of this new story. So moving on, we have to talk about Gunther facing Randy Orton, confirmed for Bash at Berlin. Do we think that this is a good choice for Gunther's first challenger?
I think it's an amazing choice for Gunther. Does it make sense? No, I don't care.
I'm with it
I
though.
don't care.
They
I think
needed
it
something
does make
big.
sense.
The crowd went so Baltimore. We are never a good crowd. People say, "Oh, sometimes." No, we're not. That was the best Baltimore has ever been. I was very surprised when his music hit. I was like, he's on SmackDown. He was the last person I thought. The last person
Yeah,
I thought.
to be
But
honest, yeah.
I was like, oh, the story is there because that's who's going to beat for King of the Ring. So I get it. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
Yeah.
all right.
That's why I think it makes sense because it's like, okay, y'all forgot about me, but remember, I lost King of the Ring in a controversial way, so I'm back for this challenge.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
it definitely made sense. But it was like with him being on SmackDown, I was like,
Yeah.
he better not win because that's taking away from Cody, and I need Cody ready.
Yeah,
That'll probably be next,
absolutely.
though.
I'm hoping it's next, man. We've been saying it since Cody won. Like, I want to see it. I
All
want
right,
to
now
see
tell
Cody
me,
versus Randy. Talk about a story.
Randy, you on face turn? Like, what is this? Ew.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. I think that early call, since we don't know the complete card, but I'm going to say early match of the night contender. Like, no doubt that match is going to be
Yeah,
so good. I can't wait.
That's why I was like, Cody, Kevin is going to be matching. And I was like, wait, let me not speak too soon.
But they might.
The
Competitiveness will definitely be there. So they're definitely going to try to beat each other's match. But for me, I definitely think that Gunther versus Randy is going to take it. Super excited to see where that goes. But we have to get into the A plot of Raw. The reason why everybody is tuned in every week, and that is the Terror Twins versus the Judgment Day. So we had a lot of questions answered. I like how in this Triple H world, it's not week to week wondering, little bit of pandering to both sides. We know definitively that the Judgment Day made that executive decision to boot out Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. Cold. KB,
And
I want to
then
ask you since.
Go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
I was just say those are the original members. That's all.
Yep, the original members. There are now no original members of the, which is so crazy to think about. KB, I want to ask you, since I know that you are the Liv Morgan stan of the group, how do you feel about this new Judgment Day? Do you think that they look good together? Do you think that this is money?
I do, but at the same time, I'm like, how long is this gonna last? Because it's just they formed together. They came together just to throw these two members out, but it's like, I don't know, if it's not natural, it's not gonna last. So I'm just curious to know. Especially how Dom left Liv. Like, you know how to leave me, sir. You got me
bad.
There was other POVs. He was looking. When he realized she wasn't there, he was like, oh no. He was very much slowly walking back.
Took his time to come back because he knew.
But I'm a little scared about it. He knew a whooping was coming his way. But
Right.
Reese, do you agree with KB?
I do. I am very excited to see where this go. I think that the Judgment Day is one of the better flushed out stories of this era of Raw, of the Triple H era, because like they booted out the two original members, but Judgment Day, those two original members caused hell in Liv's life, Balor's life, even Carlito at one point.
Sounds like
JD, like they all have gripes with them.
They all have gripes.
It's karma.
Far true.
Karma, but it's kind of hard for me because you know, with Damian Priest being the best man at me and Rhea's wedding, I don't want to go. I don't want to speak, family, but I get it. They are definitely one of my storylines, one of my favorite storylines fleshed out. I am surprised that like the pieces fell like together that fast, where it was like
the way they
However, but then it's not super fast because we saw Liv with Finn a couple of times. Like
they were plotting.
They've been plotting. Like that is. I love it. I love it.
So I'm not really surprised that it happened this quickly because it has been happening for months. So you still heard like, why
Mhm.
are you in there talking about that? Why is Liv Morgan getting y'all a tag match like for the
Yeah.
titles? So I'm
This is
excited to
all
see where it goes.
strategic. I think this is all a part of the plan. I'm very excited just because I know a lot of people are like, when is like we're gonna watch Rhea go on this revenge, like essentially her own revenge tour. But one of my favorite tweets from the week was from Public Enemies. Shout out to Public Enemies, but they posted it was essentially like Liv and Dom were terrorized by Rhea for like years. Like if it was a romantic comedy, SummerSlam would have ended with September playing and the credits rolling. Like with Rhea just sitting there because because she
Got
beat
trauma
that
bond.
man into submission, and she took 9 months out of that woman's career. So I think it's a great story beat. I think that it adds just overall just makes the Liv and Rhea story even more delicious. So
Very
I'm
good.
curious to see where it goes. I do think that it's going to end with Rhea getting that belt back, but
Oh, for sure.
Ooh.
I don't know. I feel like it's still a little too early to call, but I feel like she's going to get that belt back.
Yeah, I can't call it yet, but I'm just enjoying it for what it is. Because no matter what, I'm still in the Liv Morgan's Revenge Tour VIP area. Like, no play about
Oh yeah,
her.
Club Watch Me. I'm in Club Watch Me. Like you already know.
Period.
Like you already
I
know.
might sneak off to the Brutality Tour. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, but
But you can
see
visit
what they're giving. Yeah, see what they're
you can
giving.
visit my suite. We have snacks.
Yeah, you know, catch a little early set, see what it's giving. Do we think that Finn versus Damian is the new hottest feud to come out of this?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't
Do we
wait to
want to
see
see
what this goes.
matches?
I do.
You want to see
I
like
want to see.
like a full blown feud?
I want to see a full feud because it seems like he's been planning this since last year. Like, so
Yeah.
I
He was
want to see
actually
one.
like his rationale. It made sense.
Yep. No,
His
there was
reasoning
no
made
leaders.
sense.
Yep. There was no
There was
leaders.
no leaders, and Damian kind of made himself the leader. He also took his opportunity at SummerSlam, like you said, KB. So I don't know. There's some
Yeah.
vindication there. There's some
'Cause
vindication
it's
there.
like it
So
started with the three with them two and Edge, and then when they kicked Edge out and put Finn in, it's like they went for no leaders, but it seemed like it's still to the originals. It was like I'm still gonna be leaders because you see how Damian was acting with Dom when it came to Rhea, and he called her behind his back. So it was just
He
like
was being a
yeah,
good friend.
he
he was,
was,
he
but he
was.
wasn't being a good friend to Dom.
That would be
He
me.
wasn't being a good
No,
friend to
I wouldn't be a good
Dom.
friend. I'd be like, "Did you need to come see where she is?
Oh yeah, definitely
They
flashed.
out here,
The flash
they
would have went
out here
off.
wilding."
4K. Okay.
That would have been me. I
But
would have.
I'm excited. I don't think that this is like the Temu Judgment Day. I think that this is a really good like a really good new breathing new life into the Judgment Day. I like the dynamic change. I think it's a good choice. We'll see where we're headed. I'm hoping it's Bad Blood.
Judgment Day switches out so many characters. It's like they like the Real Housewives.
Oh my
But
God.
it's like sometimes it's like
It's like a
this will
revolving
be the villain.
door.
This will be the
Mhm.
villain. I love it.
Did
I
you say
love it.
Yeah, a
Villain
lot of
Love Island?
No, I said
Oh,
Real Housewives.
she got it on the brain. She got it on the brain.
I should never introduce you to Love Island.
this is your fault.
This is
We got
my
8 more
fault.
days. 8 more
I
days.
know.
Did
I'm
everything.
bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll talk off air about that. But to close out Raw, we had the debut of the Wyatt Six, the in-ring debut of the Wyatt Six. That was a big deal. I would love to ask you, Reese. You were in the building for that, so what was the energy like?
Chills. When they came out, it felt silent, like respect.
Wow.
It was like the Fireflies, the place was lit up. Like, I mean, we've all been with the Fireflies, like we've all seen it, but like the place was lit up. Like it looked like the lights weren't out. I'm sure on TV it looks a lot different because that's how many like people had their phones out. And
Yeah.
then I was honestly really surprised how the wrestling would go. And then Joe Gacy was like, "Here, hold my mask. You don't know why I'm in the Y6. Let me show you." So
a showing.
he's let me show you, and it was so good to see Eric Rowan back. Did I cry? No. Yes, I
Aww.
did. I cried. I did.
I mean, it was a big moment, especially the ending.
Because I was there when the Wyatts debuted. I was in Baltimore, and then I was there
Wow.
when Daniel Bryan debuted for the Wyatts for that 2-week segment. That 2-week segment, and it's like it seems like a lot of Wyatt things happen when in Baltimore, so it was just like it
We're in
felt
Baltimore.
here.
Yeah, you guys got blessed.
Yeah.
But KB, how did you feel about the match?
I enjoyed the match. I think for them to lead up to them chasing Chad from the beginning of them, debuting to the match, I just really enjoyed it. I get to see like for me not really being into the Wyatt in the past, just for me getting back into wrestling, as far as that, the Wyatts in general, I enjoyed it, and I really want to see Sister Abigail in a match, honestly.
Yeah, maybe against Ivy, since we've got
Oh,
that Diamond Mine confirmation that she is still in the group, which I was very, very happy about.
There was a
yes.
symbol behind Dakota Kai when she did her segment, so I wonder if they're gonna go against them first.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting. See where that takes us. How did we think Diamond Mine looked as a trio? I love the matching gears. Very, very cute.
Julius Creed is a star.
Man,
Julius Creed is a star. I will chant it from the rooftops. I have been high on the Creed brothers for a very, very long time, especially Julius. He is a star. I think him with Gable. I love a man in a singlet. I love a man in a singlet. I love a collegiate wrestler. And that's not even like, it's like me for as far as like my fandom goes, like Kurt
yes,
Angle. Like I love collegiate wrestlers, and I think that they look impeccable together. I think they flow together, and I think Gable really does strive better when he's in a group. And now that he's leading another group, I think this is the right call for sure. I think this is the right
yeah,
call. I think Ivy Now's here. She was on main event as well. So and I literally asked, I was like, she is still with them, and then I saw it. I was like, oh great, she is.
yes.
Great.
Very, very happy about that because that was one of the big questions I had. I was like, is Ivy still in the group? I need
Right.
Ivy to still be in the group. That's
She's
all.
still interacting with Maxine, so I'm just ready to see. I'm just gonna see how that's gonna go. Because is she gonna turn on Maxine, or is she still gonna like communicate with Maxine? And Chad's gonna be like,
Yeah.
no, come with me. Like, how's that gonna play out?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting story beat as well. And I like how they haven't really, the Diamond Mine is now busy with the Wyatt Six, but I kind of like how we're not necessarily getting to Alpha Academy yet. They're still
Right.
in each other's world, but we'll get there when we get there. I like that they're not
They've been on
rushing that
TV.
because,
They're not forgetting that.
yes, that too. Because again, like I really, really love Otis. Like I feel like when he was turning on Chad and all of those different things, I thought that was so awesome. Like the pops that he was getting, it always makes me happy when Otis gets a pop. So super, super awesome. Really enjoyed the ending of the match. I think it was the right call to have Wyatt Six win in their debut, of course.
Right.
Interested to see where they go next. Interested to see if we get like a PLE match, if they start going for a championship like tag gold. I guess that all remains to be seen.
Give them all the belts.
But yeah, all the belts. That's how I see it. Bo versus Gunther, like take it off him. I mean, like, logistically, that's where it would head, right?
Right. It would.
See that. I can see Bo.
But
I'm like, I haven't seen Bo wrestle in a very long time.
I'm very curious to see when Bo gets back in
I
the ring.
still
I can't wait for that.
believe.
Yeah, we believe. Yeah, like don't get it twisted. We believe for sure, but that's gonna be a super hard hitting match. But that is our show for this week, guys. Super, super fun. Make sure that you guys follow us on all social media platforms, Lip Gloss and Ladders on Instagram, Lip Gloss Ladders on TikTok, and then Lip Gloss and Ladders, the letter N for Twitter, right?
I think it's the other
Or
way
Lip Gloss.
around. I think it's Lip Gloss Ladders for Twitter, and then Lip Gloss and Ladders for TikTok.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, guys. I'm confusing everybody. KB, I'm gonna let you take it. I'm gonna let you take it. Just make sure that it's correct.
I'll try to make sure. I try my best to make sure it's consistent around social, but you know how the character limit be limited. So
Okay. Yes. So we'll definitely have all of our socials plugged in in our description. But KB, where can they find you?
You can find me at Meticulous Key on Twitter and Instagram.
All right. What about you, Reese?
And I am at Genius Re for Instagram, and Reese watches wrestling, all one word, and on TikTok.
Awesome. And then you can find me at Ash_Benny or Benny's Block_ on Instagram. But that is our show this week. Definitely give us a like and comment and subscribe. Give us a shout out as well if you enjoyed the episode. But make sure that you always put down the lip gloss and pick up that ladder. And we'll see you next week.